All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. So first off, I just want to take a second to say I have a major internet outage in my area, affecting quite a large area where I'm located, and I am attempting to stream off of a mobile hotspot. So let's hope this works out. If there's any lag in the stream, will you please let me know in the comments? And we'll do our best here, guys. We'll do our best with what we have to work with here. And not so sure this is going to work, but we're at a pretty crucial point for Bitcoin right now. And I really wanted to jump on and let you guys know what I'm thinking here. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Yeshwant, much love to you as well. Samuel S44, thank you so much for being here. Let's do hope this works. And thank you for modding for me. THR Tiger, hello to you. Little Rich 69, full port. Good evening, guys. Thank you for being here. C-Train, much love to you as well. Not quicker. Just a few doll hairs lower. Yeah, you know, we are coming to backtest that resistance I talked about in yesterday's video is now acting as support. So let's see if we can backtest this. We'll get into this in just a second, but it's the value area high of our range that we're kind of trying to break out of and backtest right now. If we do start to close hourly candles back inside of our value area high, this is going to be pretty interesting here, guys. Jesus Save 77, welcome in. God bless you and much love to you as well. Chicken Salt, good morning to you. Drum Hop TV, let's see, some good volatility today. Yeah, Time Attack, thank you so much for modding and being here. Power NV, welcome in. And yeah, Mr. Rect 8 Shun, welcome in. So guys, Bitcoin did see a pretty aggressive bounce from the lows. Now, the lows that we did get, let me zoom out to the 2-hour chart. You know, we have our macro golden pocket pull from the 60K lows. If we pull that golden pocket from our 60K lows, which is the range lows, the ultimate range lows, to our range highs at like 74,000, the golden pocket was front run. It's at around 65,386, but we did bounce from a daily level that was down here, and it was near our value area low. Our value area low actually was a little bit lower when we were coming down to it. You can see it was right on top of that golden pocket at around 65.3, 65.4. But now if we pull our volume profile to current price action, you can see that pretty much we were bouncing from the value area low. We front ran it just a bit, and we front ran the golden pocket, which I did not want to see, but we did have the daily level. Now, what we wanted to analyze, because of the move down from 74K, did look to be more impulsive. And if we look at that move down, you can count a 1, 2, your big 3 here, 4, 5. So because this was a 5-wave impulse, we do have a higher probability, and also we did break market structure bearishly. We do have a higher probability of making a lower high before seeing that big dump in a third wave, creating that lower low and that really big momentum to the downside. But in this move up that we've been seeing from Sunday, and by the way, guys, weekend lows, remember what I always say about weekend highs and weekend lows. That low is a weekend low. This move up has been pretty aggressive and breaking through some key levels today and overnight. Now, as we came up to that purple box of resistance overnight, I was sleeping. I did not look. And also I said I'm not going to be looking for limit shorts here. I want to see the reaction. I want to see some bear divs as we're coming up to that area. But we ended up breaking through that area. And that's where the most confluence was for me personally. It was near the bottom of our pitchfork band. We had our anchored VWAP there. We had our 0.5 Fibonacci and our value area high there. And then just above that, so if you guys did watch yesterday's video, I talked about the 3 big levels, that 0.5 with the value area high and the anchored VWAP. The golden pocket was another area because we do have a nice 8-hour and 4-hour order block within this little consolidation here. And then the bigger, but I said out of the 3 levels, first off, that 0.5 Fibonacci and value area high was my favorite resistance. And then above, the next is actually that 786 above. And if we look at that 786, it's coming in right at the top of the pitchfork band. So is there a possibility we still could chop around here for a bit to make it up to that 786 Fibonacci? Yes, there is. Earlier today, we were seeing some bullish CVD absorption, which, remember, guys, absorption is the big key thing you want to watch. So while we were consolidating, this is the 5-minute time frame, just a couple hours ago in this consolidation, and this consolidation was above the golden pocket. We were seeing lower lows on the CVD. We were seeing higher lows on the open interest, and we were seeing higher lows on the price action. So there was bullish absorption. There was a valid bullish absorption. But even with that bullish absorption that we were seeing, we are starting to break down from this little consolidation. And the big thing that happened with this breakdown is the drop in open interest. So you can now see our open interest is below where the bullish absorption was starting. So now we have invalidated the bullish absorption locally for today. The local bullish absorption has been invalidated. But if we zoom out to the 15-minute chart, and this is what I am looking for shorts. I will enter short if we start closing some candles back inside our volume profile. But if we look at our bigger move here, and this, first off, this open interest is more flat than increasing, especially now with this drop that we've seen in the last hour or so, 2 hours. But if we look at this channel that has been developing, and I have this channel on my trading view chart, I'll show you this. We're starting to break it down now for the first time. So I'll go in, I'll just match the time frames. We'll go to the 15-minute chart, and the move up from Sunday, we've been kind of grinding up within this ascending channel here. And there's a couple ways to pull this ascending channel. So I pulled it from the lows to that higher low, that kind of retracement. We saw this is kind of a flat in here. And then I pulled it to your initial highs. Now you could also pull it to this high here, but it's not as nice as looking at it from those initial highs that we saw. Very nice respect, very nice respect, very nice respect, very nice respect. And what's important anyways within this channel is the lower trend line of the channel. So we did see a fake out here earlier today, but if we look at the hourly candle, it literally was just a wick past on the hourly, but the hourly candle closed at the base of the channel. Now we're seeing something very similar here. We're starting to break the channel down on the 15-minute, but if we can see this bounce and get back in within the hour, I do think we will continue to work our way up to that 786 Fibonacci. Now, going back to our bullish absorption, we have the channel, and if we look at our CVD here from the base of the channel, it is going down. It's not the cleanest looking. It is more flat, but if you look where the lows are here, we are slightly lower than the start of that channel with our CVD. So we do have a bit of a drop in CVD here. So lower lows in CVD. We obviously have higher lows in price action. And our open interest before this dump 2 hours ago was at least looking semi-nice here. You could see at the bottom, your open interest was rising overall a couple hours ago. Now, there's a lot of jankiness in here. And I do often say on the channel, when you see these prolonged drops in open interest during kind of a rise or even a flat open interest, it is not the most bullish thing to see. And now we're seeing another drop in open interest pretty aggressively. So yes, technically we do have some bullish CVD absorption within this push up since Sunday, but it is not the cleanest looking. It is not the nicest looking, and it's quite concerning with these drops in open interest here. I really do think that it is on the verge of being invalidated in some ways. But as far as the technical signals go, it is there. So that is something we have to keep in mind, because bullish absorption does play out 75 to 85% of the time. Okay, going on to the channel, we see that we broke the channel down earlier today, but it was just a wick. If we go to that hourly chart, and I showed this in the Telegram earlier today, you can see that it was pretty much just, and let me adjust this to make this, yeah, all right, right there. That's, so you could see how we pretty much wicked past it, but did not close below the channel. Now we are starting to close our first hourly candle below the channel, and we're also back inside of our volume profile. So this is what's going to be important. I'm going to hide this channel for a second, and you can see attempt to break out of the value area high last night, small pullback. We were able to flip that anchored VWAP from the 74K highs into support. And then now we are kind of trying to hold the value area high as support. And if we can, then we do at least have the big probability of coming up to hit that 786 in the top of the pitchfork band. But what we're seeing right now is we are seeing some concerning signs as far as market cipher B goes. And NAMI, our oscillators. As we've been rising within this ascending channel, we weren't really making any bear divs until just from last night's high to tonight's high. We can now see that we do have confirmed bear divs on the chart on the 1 hour. Money flow is finally topped out on Market Cipher B, and we have bear divs on the chart on NAMI confirmed and multiple drives, just barely, but multiple drives of bear div and money flow bear div. So this is that big signal that I always look for when I'm looking for shorts, is Market Cipher to have the momentum bull divs with money flow topping, and NAMI to have money flow bear divs and momentum bear divs. So there is a real possibility we could roll over from here, guys. We could front run this 786. We could start to really crash down here and see that this liquidity trail that is built over the past 3 days could get swept pretty aggressively. What I talked about in yesterday's video was, because we did drop in an impulse to the downside from the 74K highs to the 66K lows, this looks more impulsive. So we should be expecting a corrective move, making a lower high before seeing that impulse come into the downside. But within this corrective move so far, I don't really like, you generally want to see a nice bigger 3-wave zigzag up to those levels with low volume. And I have to say that for the most part, this is pretty straight up. This channel that we've been in is pretty straight up. Could you say that there was a little bit of, when we hit that purple box in here, we did go sideways for 4 or 5 hours, and then we kind of started to push up again around New York Open. Could you say that this is some sort of 3-wave corrective move? It's done, and now we are going to start to see that bigger 5-wave impulse come into the downside? Yes, it could happen. We have mixed signals right now because we do have bullish absorption on the charts, and we have bearish divergence on the oscillators. So for me, we are at resistance. We are at our internal local resistances. And once again, if we pull that Fibonacci from the 74K highs to the 66K lows, and we turn on our golden pocket, we are starting to lose our golden pocket. You can see we had our initial hit into the golden pocket, rejected, but was able to hold our anchored VWAP. And we pushed up again, saw an internal daily SFP of that high, and we're coming down to that anchored VWAP right now. So for me, what I really want to see is, yes, we're back inside the volume profile. Right now, technically we are. We are breaking down from the channel right now. But what I want to be more confident to look for shorts is to start losing our anchored VWAP, because these anchored VWAPs are pretty strong indicators of whether we're going to actually reject or flip it into support and continue pushing at least locally a little bit higher here. So not in any trades yet. I did end up taking a little bit of a short trade on Solana. And guys, I'm sorry I did not let you know. I let you guys know on Friday that this box of resistance was the box of resistance that I was looking at on Solana, coming up to our golden pocket and our value area high around 88.6 to 88.8. And so I did end up taking the short from this area. If Bitcoin continues to push locally to the upside, I do think that we will see Solana maybe come up and double top this. And I really wanted to let you guys know, but I was trying to, I was on the phone with the internet provider, seeing what was going on here. And it was just a hectic morning for me. So, anyways, let's get back to Bitcoin real quick here. Locally, I am sitting on my hands and I'm waiting. If we zoom in onto the 15-minute chart, we still do have bullish market structure overall. And yes, we did sweep the low. So this actually was pretty nice earlier today. We came down, we slept that last local low with an SFP, and then we came up and we swept the highs and kind of consolidated here. But right now we're just chopping. We're chopping around this resistance zone that we would expect a bigger rejection. And remember, guys, if we are going to really reject here and the bears are going to take over and that bigger plan is going to play out, let me actually zoom out to the 4-hour chart. We are looking for that dump to take out 60K, because we're looking for that fifth and final wave to the downside from 74K to below 60K to finish our fifth wave of the larger weekly impulse down from the all-time high. So we have our wave 1, our running flat in a wave 2, our big drop to 60K in a wave 3. And remember, we were looking for this range to take 1 to 4 weeks to play out. And if we look here, that could have exactly played out. And I showed this in yesterday's video, but if we go from the start or the end of the crash, the start of the range to our 74K highs, that was 26 days and 16 hours, which is right around the 4 times the length of this guy. So we were getting stretched as far as time goes, but we have not really invalidated it. And so if that 74K high was the high, then we would expect to start to impulse down to below 60K. Now, what was important about, if this is going to be a wave 1, a wave 2, we're going to see that big wave 3 come in, wave 4, wave 5, then what we want to see is this first push down needs to be impulsive. And it does look impulsive. It looks like a mini 5-wave correction down to the value area low within itself. So because of that, because this first push down looks impulsive, we do have a genuine possibility of making a lower high and then seeing that real nice volatility come in. So that's why I'm focusing right now really on shorts. I really want to catch this short position because this short position here could bring us to below 60K in that wave 3. Maybe we SFP 60K for wave 3, kind of go sideways and up to backtest the pitchfork for wave 4 before seeing that 5th and final wave to come down to the 58, 57K support, which we know is a pretty key support. Another possibility I'm looking at is a little bit more bearish, but in this wave 3, coming all the way down to 57K in the wave 3, then retracing up to backtest the pitchfork in a wave 4 and coming down to 54,000 in a wave 5, which that 54,000 level is another important high time frame support level as far as pitchforks go and everything like that. But you can see how this would make that nice 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And with the greater possibility that this entire range of the past month has been a corrective move, very similar to our last corrective range where we did reject from the anchored VWAP area, rejecting from the area of the anchored VWAP. It just makes sense to me that we should be looking for those nice short positions to come in. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't long and have a scalp long that you leave a little bit open just in case a bullish scenario does play out and we're going to start pumping, aggressively into the mid 80s. But for now, I have to say I'm prioritizing these short positions and looking really to get that signal for a nice swing short below 60K. All right, let me check the chat again here real quick. Let me know, guys, how is the stream working? Is it everything going smoothly here? Crypto Wander 1, good afternoon to you as well. 786, that low at 69K. Okay, can't hear anything. Is that, yeah, can you guys hear for me? I see a comment about can't hearing. Let me know if you can hear me. Static Attack, welcome in. I think we'll take out the 66K low and head back to grab that liquidity at 786. So 66K low. Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting. So if we're going to do that, then that does make sense. This was a wave 1, and then we're seeing a flat here in a wave 2. And then you would see that wave 3 come in. So yeah, there is a possibility that we could come down right now, take out the 66K low into that golden pocket in that value area low, and then see a move up to the 786 to take out today's highs. That is a valid possibility. We'll have to see how that plays out over, we want to start to see this rejection really starting to gain some steam. And let me zoom in on the 12 because I am focused on this anchored VWAP. And let me just clean this chart up a bit here. I'm really focused on this anchored VWAP that we are coming into right now, because if we do start to lose this anchored VWAP, that's when I'm going to start getting a bit excited on a bigger breakdown of this ascending channel. Yeah. Yes, those cascading stop losses, though, you're right. Static Attack, and that is a liquidity trail where if we do start to break this liquidity trail, you can see that big cascading drop to the downside, right? There are more short-term bear divs as well. Yes, we do have bear divs, guys, as well. 12-minute bear divs here. Money flow crossing into the red pretty aggressively. Multiple drives of bear div on NAMI. Money flow bear div on the 12-minute crossing into the red. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. On the 30-minute chart, bear divs coming in on the 30-minute, multiple drives of bear div, money flow bear div on NAMI. So we do have that prime setup that I like to look for, that really nice prime setup of the market cipher and NAMI combination, which does play out, I would say, at least 75% of the time. When you see these two combinations together, it gives you a very strong signal to enter. Okay. Sometimes I am impulsive as well. Sudeep, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Much love to you. Flex TX, long the exact bottom on both Bitcoin and Pepe. Wish me luck. So are you talking about this bottom here on Sunday, or are you talking about like a local bottom today? But good job for you, man. Way to go. You know, just make sure you're locking in some profits, moving that stop loss to break even, getting your trade risk-free, and let some ride, you know, let some ride just in case. Yeah, I don't see a good setup for the short yet. Now, guys, if you were, and I was kind of, like I said, I was kind of busy with things, but if you were looking at, as soon as we made that last high from today with the confirmed bear divs here, and then you started to lose this prior high, you could have looked for the short. It was a bit difficult because we were seeing bullish absorption at the time, right? Within this consolidation here earlier today, we were seeing the bullish absorption on Coinalyze. And with that, for me, that alone was enough to stop me from entering the short at that zone as soon as we lost this prior high, because this was our internal high for the day. Get that move down, you kind of SFP that high, or, you know, fail auction that high with this range. But because we were seeing bullish absorption in that consolidation right here, I was not taking the short. I was wanting to come up a little bit higher. Now the bullish absorption has been technically invalidated because our open interest is now lower than where the bullish absorption started. Open interest is dropped lower. So it has been, the local bullish absorption has been hard invalidated. Okay, so to enter a short, like, I am still waiting, being patient here to wait. Very locally, we are back inside the volume profile. We've been back inside of it for about an hour now. And you can see we fell back inside of it. We just back tested it about 30 minutes ago, and we're starting to reject. So because we very immediately back tested, let me just zoom in here. Very immediately, we fell back inside the volume profile. We bearishly back tested and rejected. Now, at the very minimum, we at least expect to take out this local low right here. But that local low is pretty close anyways. We're about to take it out as I'm speaking. But what we want to see is a loss of this 69,780-ish level. That is your anchored VWAP. And if we start to lose and close below that anchored VWAP, then I'm going to start to look for, okay, let's see if we can't get some sort of short to come in here. We would have to probably play it as a scalp, looking for a short. You know, I think we probably are going to see at least a little bit of a bounce from the bottom of the pitchfork band. So if we do something like this, bounce, and then come back up to bearishly backtest immediately that anchored VWAP, that is when we could say, okay, if we're going to reject, we can short here. I would be putting my stop above that local high, and I would be targeting, you know, really I would try to leave this open for much, much lower. But we'll have to see how that plays out, because that is a risky invalidation using that lower high right there on the bearish backtest of the value area high. I mean, to me, it was a lot more clear. First of all, I took profit on the ETH long at 2064. I did enter an ETH long, a very small scalp. It wasn't even I entered upon the golden pocket touch. We had this box laid out from last Friday, if you guys remember. I entered, I said between 1917 and 1913, because earlier the value area low was at 1913, right down here, 1913. Golden pocket at 1917. I told you guys if we started chopping into that with bull divs, I would enter. I did enter that. And then I took profit at exactly 2064, because that's where your value area high was. I guess it's at 2067, but my TP was at 2064. And we came up and we're hitting the value area high and the golden pocket here, and we're starting to aggressively reject here. So that was a really nice scalp long trade on Ethereum. Pretty much got in at the exact bottom, got out at the exact top. I just look at some of the altcoins right now. There's better trading setups than on Bitcoin. I want to see Bitcoin start to, like, look at how aggressively we're rejecting the value area high on ETH, right into the golden pocket. On Solana, very aggressively rejecting the value area high into the golden pocket. On Bitcoin, we're chopping, we had some chop above the golden pocket for a couple hours, and we're above the value area high for a couple hours. So for me, it's not as clear on Bitcoin. It's not near as clear, the short position. And so for me, if I see a better opportunity on a different altcoin, and by the way, I'm not trading a bunch of these low liquidity altcoins, pretty much Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink sometimes, but really my main three are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And so... yeah, I guess I would say right now with Bitcoin, I'm being a little bit more patient, and I think I'm able to psychologically because I'm in those other short positions on some of the altcoins that I just got into. And we're just going to have to wait and see. We're coming down right now to hit that anchored VWAP, so I really want to focus on this as we're live here. All right, I'm going to check the chat while we're waiting for this bounce or waiting for this reaction here. So Dad87, welcome in, man. Since February 24th, we didn't make a new lower low, only internal liquidity grab. Can we go higher to fill the monthly fair value gap? Yes, we could. Dad87, we sure could, but the thing is, this entire corrective move that we've seen for this month has been definitely looking more corrective. And I'll zoom out. So let's see. Fill that fair value gap around 76,000. Yeah, we sure could. We could absolutely. It's not the highest probability to me. It's not the highest probability. And the reason why is because this range does look more corrective. You know, we are ending it on a really nice spike in volume. Once again, guys, just like up in this range between 80K and 98K, that last push up, we saw a lot of long positions stepping in, and that was the initial fuel to give us that dump to the downside. Very, very similar within this smaller fractalized range. That last leg, we saw a lot of long positions stepping in, looking for a breakout to, you know, the 80s, 90s, even 100. I saw some people talking about 105, 110K. That could be fuel that gives us that big push down. And because we did start the rejection here with an impulse, and we also did break market structure internally bearishly. I understand, Dad87, we haven't broke more of the external market structure bearishly yet, but we did at least see an internal break of market structure, and that is a sign you need to watch for because we're kind of trading internally within this range right now, right? So we're internally range trading. But knowing that this was impulsive here, this could be corrective before seeing that big impulsive price action in the third wave. And remember, within an Elliott wave structure, you have your 1, 2, the third wave is generally your longest, strongest, most volume-filled wave to the downside, and then you get that 4 or 5. This leg is the leg you want to catch. So right now, the impulse is down. We want to catch this lower high that we're coming at right now today because that could give us our nice big short to the downside where we make a lot of money. Within Elliott waves, your third wave is your best wave to catch. So we had our 1, 2, and then if you shorted this here, look at that big drop there where you could have made a significant amount of money on the third wave. Take some profit once you start to bounce in range. You could have even taken profit anywhere in here. And then you could even still have that short open, compound that short, and write it down again, knowing that there's supposed to be a fifth wave coming in. So, yeah, that's what I would say. That's why I'm really prioritizing shorts here. But so far, very, very locally, this anchored VWAP that we flipped last night, you see we busted above it for the first time, backtested, held, new highs. Backtested, held, new highs. If we backtest here right now and hold, new highs I expect. I expect us to come to that 72.2 region. 72.250-ish, it's more like. That's where, you know, 72.3, 72.250. That's where your 786 and your pitchfork band top is going to be located at. Okay, stream is working fine. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. That is so awesome to hear. Smooth as Silk was Yep. Okay. Clear. All right. Cool. Thank you guys for giving me the feedback on the stream. You know, the last time I tried to stream from my hotspot, it went horribly. A lot of lag. It just was not working. So good to see that this is working great. If you draw a downward trend line on the 4-hour from January 14th to present, we just rejected for a second time. Okay, I want to check that out because I think I understand what you're talking about here. January 14th, which would be that high at 98K. Okay, so if we're looking at, and we'll be really specific here. We'll use a ray, so we'll go like something like that. Yep. So there's your trend. We rejected it earlier at 74K. We're coming up. We're starting to reject it again. So yeah, I would say that's a valid trend. That's a pretty valid trend right there. And so if we do reject this here, guys, we expect to see that significant dump coming in here. I'm just going to hide this golden pocket as support for now. And we've been trading the range, guys. We've been trading the range. Remember, we looked for shorts right up here in this purple box. We looked for longs in this box. We were looking for shorts around that $74,000 area, 74.2 to 74.4, because it was our 0.5 Fibonacci. And wave 4 targets. If we're looking at this entire trend so far, this fifth wave impulse to the downside, now we can see that really nice trend that we keep projecting. That's a really good catch. Good job, div friend, dividend. All right. Chad P, welcome in, man. And Liam as well. Good to see you in here. Good to see you commenting, man. Appreciate you. Could we get a bounce here for a lower high potentially? A bounce for a lower high. So are you talking about like locally on the 5-minute, 10-minute time frame? We could get a bounce here. Absolutely, we could get a bounce, but I would say here, be careful for a lower high because we are still maintaining bullish market structure. Actually, I'm going to go on the 15-minute. So you can see here, we are still maintaining bullish market structure. Yes, we had an SFP earlier today, but you can see we have our high. Okay, that's a lower low, but just by an SFP, we have our higher high, so we could put in a higher low and then continue this local exhaustive trend until we actually hit that resistance. Because right now, the high that we saw for today, well, now we know it's the trend line, obviously, but it's also in between where we rejected above the golden pocket, but below the 786. So that's kind of an unusual zone to reject. You either reject pretty much right from that golden pocket or you do come up and hit that 786. It is a zone though, that golden pocket 786 is a zone and it is near the value area high. I would like to see some break in market structure. Now, if we come down again here and break this low, maybe even come to the POC and bounce, then I would look for the lower high bearish back test because we had our immediate back test of the value area low and we rejected. If we can come down to the POC, bounce, come up and reject from that value area high, that is where I would be looking for a short, and I would be playing this short position. You could see not only taking out the 66K lows, but even coming down way low, taking out your 60K lows in the wave 3. And that would be still a nice short trade there. Of course, you could get a better entry. You could set your stop. You wouldn't set it necessarily above today's highs. Now, that's your technical invalidation if you shorted this bearish backtest of the value area high. But if you wanted to get a bigger position size on that, you could look at, I guess, I don't know if I would because this here, there's not really anything in here that could act as an invalidation. So I would say if you're going to short the bearish backtest of the value area high, you kind of do have to set your stop above today's highs technically in order for that to be a valid stop loss that would probably play out. The probabilities of not getting stopped out there would be pretty good. All right, let's see here. I really want to see if we can catch something. So we did just take out the lows, guys. I talked about that. a couple minutes ago. We fell back inside the volume profile, bearishly back tested it. So because we rejected there, we were expecting to take out these local lows. Talked about that about 15 minutes ago. We've now taken out those local lows. So that played out. Nice little, confirmation there. Now let's see if this anchored VWAP is going to hold us. This is literally going to tell us everything we need to know. If this anchored VWAP holds us, we do have a significant chance to come up to hit that 786. And we could even look for a potential scalp long opportunity. Let's say that this anchored VWAP is going to hold us and we start to reclaim the value area high. You could put your stop below that low, targeting the 786. That is still a valid scalp long position there that could play out. Now, you have to remember, you're longing towards the top of a multi-day pump. That is very dangerous and very stupid if you're not using proper risk management and in proper scalp mentality. So I would never recommend to people generally to long the top, especially after this channel is starting to break down. It's just not good risk management or practice if you know what you're doing, unless you know what you're doing, I should say. All right, let's see. Yeah, we kind of just have to be patient here. Wait for a little bit of consolidation. We are starting to see, let me go to the 5-minute, and I want to see, yeah, we're starting to see multiple drives of bull div here. Look at all this 5-minute bull div. Money flow coming up. We even have market cipher bull divs into our anchored VWAP, and this choppiness is starting to look a bit exhaustive for me. So could we see this start to break up here? I mean, that is something that I'd be watching for. Let's actually entertain this scalp long position today on the trade. Remember, guys, if you are taking longs near the top of this, you should not take this unless you absolutely know how to use risk management, right? So in this case, I'm going to on the reclaim of the value area high, I'm going to long. My stop is going to go right below the low that we just put in. And I haven't taken this. I'm not taking this yet. I'm just trying to explain the process to you guys. So we have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So as far as our RR, that's good. Your stop loss is 0.87%. So pretty much meaning you could put, if you were using 1x leverage, you could put in your entire account. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose 0.87%. But because we can go higher than that, you might set your leverage to 2x. And we're going to be risking 1% on this scalp trade. So what is, whatever your portfolio size is, I'm just going to give you guys a random example of $1,000. Say we have $1,000 portfolio. What is 1% of $1,000? It's $10. So $10 is what we're risking per trade here. We're risking $10. That doesn't mean our position size is going to be $10. That means if we get stopped out, we're going to lose $10. Now, we have to take that $10 and you're going to divide it by your stop loss percentage here. But because it's a percentage, you have to move the decimal over 2 places. So we're going to divide it by 0.0872. And that is going to give you 114. I did that wrong. Hold on. We got to do $10 divided by 0. We have to move it over 2. So 0.00872. And you can put $1,146 on your trade. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose $10. So here's the thing, though. You only have $1,000 in your account. So how can you put $1,146 if you only have $1,000? That is where leverage comes into play. Leverage is not a tool to give you better, to maximize profits. Leverage is a tool to free up margin so that you can have money remaining in your account for other trades or for hedges. But knowing now, we could put about $1,146 on this trade if you have $1,000 position size. Now, all of you guys have different portfolio sizes. So you're going to have to take whatever your portfolio size is and calculate 1% of that yourself, and then you find out what 1% is, and then you take that formula, 1% divided by your stop loss percentage, but don't forget to remove the decimal over because of the percentage, because this isn't a percentage here. And that's just basic math, guys. But we haven't seen real confirmation yet to enter this trade. Remember, to see confirmation to enter that scalp long, we want to actually hold this and then start to reclaim the value area high. So we haven't done that yet. We also tomorrow have CPI, guys, CPI reading, and that CPI reading tomorrow could cause some volatility on the charts. If it's bearish, we could see this finally, this wave 3 drop to the downside that we might be expecting here. Div Fiend. Okay, nice, Div Fiend. Thank you, man. Roy, welcome in as well. Okay, we rejected 70K. We rejected the 7.2 fib to the dollar. Happens a lot on Bitcoin. Worth backtesting. Okay, thanks, Fullport. The 0.72 fib. Interesting. You know, I do have a Fibonacci level. Let me just go zoom out here. And this is a level that has been used in smart money concepts for quite a while. But I named it Hori Pocket because there's a trader in Jason's Discord named Hori. I've known him for quite a while that he uses that golden pocket. It's pretty, honestly, a pretty common golden pocket between the 702 and the 725. And yeah, you did reject that 702, 725 golden pocket there. And so yeah, we could see that new drop down from here. Very nice rejection from that pocket. Now we know the 618 is a psychological level that's programmed in our subconscious minds and our psychology. But as the market learns how people, traders are starting to learn that golden pocket, they can manipulate it a little bit and make it go a little bit higher. So there's been some new developments of some golden pockets that are coming in here based off of just traders adapting and then the market makers adapting to those traders. All right. False Prophet, what is up, my man? Welcome in. Guys, False Prophet is the creator of NAMI down here. Really, really great tool. I know False Prophet has some really exciting new developments coming soon to NAMI. So stay tuned for those, guys. And I recommend, because I don't know for sure if there's going to be any pricing change with those new developments. But if you're interested in getting NAMI, for me, NAMI, like if you're a proper expert in your trade, or a professional, let's just say not even an expert, a professional in your trade, you have the proper tools to do the job. If you're a plumber, you have the proper tools to get the plumbing job done. If you're an electrician, same thing. Well, as a trader, you want to have the proper tools that are going to help you maximize profit and maximize your probability for a win. So for me, NAMI has far exceeded that for me, and really does give me those confirmations to get into good trades and stay out of bad trades. So for me, it's worth it. It pays for itself almost immediately. Even if you have an account that's a little bit smaller, $500 or less, sure, it might take you a few months to pay it off, but you'll have a lifetime subscription to NAMI. And I also got you guys a 50% off discount code with some of the newer developments that are going to even streamline this even more. I would recommend, if you guys are struggling, and especially struggling finding divergences by your eye, seeing those divergences by eye, NAMI prints them out for you and everything like that. So I just think it's a great tool. False Prophet, it's really good to see you in here, man. I'm excited for what you got developing. And yeah, I love it. All right, Crypto Clan World between gold. Yep, 706. Yeah, an institutional fib, or it's like a smart money fib. So Crypto Clan World, absolutely. Let's see. We're also bouncing from the local 786. Yep, probably bouncing from that local 786, guys. So if we look at that earlier drop today with the SFP down there, look at our 786 fib. Yeah, pretty much bouncing from that 786 fib, which is right on top of that anchored VWAP there. But we're not really seeing such a strong bounce right now. It's just a little bit of a move up here. And still, to me, this looks like, if we look at this, we're still kind of just seeing that corrective choppy overlap. So you could continue this here. But it is a sign that we could see a move up locally soon, because you're starting that corrective choppy overlap. You have your big initial drop down, and now you're starting that overlap. So I call that selling exhaustion. And this would be like internal local selling exhaustion. I want to check out our order flow real quick. How does order flow look? Oop. Oh man, that's not good to see. We're going to have some Well, okay, never mind. Yeah. So we are just seeing a little bit of a short squeeze, a long squeeze here. Actually, it's a little bit of both. I mean, like it's just noise, internal noise happening right now on our open interest or on our order flow because open interest is still just consistently dropping here. Yeah, we had a lot of shorts enter at the highs. Yeah, we did have a lot of shorts entering at the highs. So if you look here at the highs, let me throw that vertical line on for you guys. So right at the highs right here, you can see that's directly where those shorts started coming in. Remember, CVD is market shorters or market longers. So if your CVD is dropping here, that means fresh shorts are coming in, or shorts are coming into the market. Now, to know whether those are fresh shorts or if it's just a bit of a squeeze, you want to look at your open interest. If your open interest is going up while those shorts are coming in, that means it's fresh short positions. So yes, we did see a lot of people short the highs, and they're in profit right now. They are successfully in profit. So it's interesting that we did see those shorts coming in at the highs. And actually, we saw quite a bit of shorts even from earlier today's high. You know, you see overall this is kind of trending down, but it got aggressive on that second high from earlier today. So let's see if the bears are going to take control here now, guys. Let's see. Travi Trades, welcome in, man. All or nothing, 200x, full portfolio. You forgot to say no stop loss. Where's the stop loss? There is no stop loss, right, Jason Casper? I love that guy. R Pink, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, guys, I want to take a second here to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. And if you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you'll get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, which is actually really huge. You can actually earn up to 40% discounts, but you do have to deposit some pretty large amounts into the exchange to get that discount. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses paid out in real Bitcoin or USDT. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. So for instance, if you deposit $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus, which most exchanges do a 20% deposit bonus. You'll get a 50% here. They're offering a 20% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a 10% deposit bonus up to $20,000, guys. That's huge. I've also partnered with Nami to create that Telegram community where I try to let you guys know what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. I try to let you guys know when I enter a trade on Bitcoin or altcoins. I understand that I didn't let you guys know about the Ethereum and the Solana trade, and I'm sorry about that. It was kind of a hectic thing going on here. But if you're interested in joining the Telegram, it is free. All you got to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and do the minimum deposit of $100. You can deposit more if you want more than the, some of the better rewards or the bigger rewards that come in with that. And once you've done that, once you've signed up and deposited the minimum amount of $100, you can click the Telegram link in the description of this video, or our Pink posted it in the chat as well. And once you do that, type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. So /verify user ID and you're in. I also am partnered, like I said earlier, with Nami. And Nami is this momentum and money flow indicator at the bottom of your screen here that I use for my confirmations on my trade. As we're coming up to a key resistance, I want to see those bear divs coming in on the chart in order to enter. And so for instance, earlier today, we were not seeing bear divs on the hourly chart until we made that last high of the day. We now finally have higher highs here, lower highs here. You can see Nami will mark out the bear divs for you. So if you're not good at finding those divs by eye alone, Nami will kind of give you that. And also the money flow bear divs as well, which I really like to see on Nami, gave us kind of confirmation that, yeah, we could be seeing a substantial high here before seeing a dump. So for me, Nami has really helped me on my entries and exits on trades, helps me maximize profit. I have partnered with Nami to get you guys 50% off. So if you do use my affiliate link in the description and you type in Divine50 in the promotion discount code box, you can get 50% off Nami. Also partner with Blowfin. That's my second non-KYC exchange. I have two non-KYC exchanges. So Blowfin is the second non-KYC exchange. They're offering some pretty good initial deposit bonuses here. You know, you can get $1,000 deposit bonus if you deposit 10,000. Some 20% deposit bonuses here. And then if you just sign up with my affiliate link and deposit $5, you can get a $10 voucher, which is 200%. That's for the first 300 users only. You can get VIP 1 for 30 days. And I'm in talks with Blowfin to get you guys some really good campaigns going for the channel. So stay tuned for that. There's some cool prizes that you guys could win. Things like that. So Blowfin, second non-KYC partner. And then lastly, the two KYC exchanges are MEXC and Bybit. Both great exchanges. I've used both of them in the past. I still do use MEXC. You do need to KYC for those exchanges, but Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. All right, let's get back to the TA here. Now, one of the things, guys, that I don't like that I'm seeing here, if we want this short to continue, actually a couple things I don't like. First off, we're starting to see that kind of selling exhaustion channel that we see towards the bottom, and the multiple drives of bull div that we're seeing here with money flow crossing into the green on NAMI. And we're also holding the anchored VWAP, right? That very key anchored VWAP. So like I said, until we start to lose that, we might expect that we're going to chop around and come up and hit that high one more time. I have not entered a short locally on MEXC or on Bitcoin, excuse me. I do want to check out really quickly here. I just want to look at my Solana because if I need to take profit here, I will take some profit. So we do have some pretty nice bear divs on the 12. Let me go to the hour here. Yeah, we do have some nice bear divs coming in and some local bear divs coming in. Let me see something here. All right, bouncing. You know what? I am going to wait on taking profit here on Solana. So the thing with Solana is very aggressive 5-wave move down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And after seeing that 5-wave move here, so you have your 5-wave impulse, where's the most common wave 2 target? To retrace up to the golden pocket. Now, I don't like how this is so choppy and overlappy, but you retrace up to the golden pocket in a wave 2, and now your wave 3 could really come in and dump you. So that's why I'm really focused on shorts right now, because we could see that aggressiveness come into the downside. And I'm willing to, if we start to reclaim the VWAP, I'll probably pull some out and look to re-enter if we get a double top up here again. But I pretty much entered right at the highs here. All right, let me check the chat. Yeah, R-Pink, I'm dealing with the same thing, man. I'm actually streaming right now from my mobile hotspot because we have a major outage in our area, internet outage, that I can do nothing about. So luckily, the live stream is still going smooth with the hotspot. Like, I'm really happy for that. But man, it sucks. You know, it shows you how dependent we are on the internet nowadays. Lost X, welcome in, my man. Man, what's with the Jason Casper and being extremely bullish near the highs? Well, Jason, I did see him earlier today, but he was doing some very low time frame scalping. So when he's bullish, he's looking for like a couple $100 move, maybe a $500 move up, and he's taking profit on those scalp long trades. But part of the reason he's bullish is because the trend for the last few days has been bullish, making higher highs and higher lows. So I did see that he did long earlier today, like this low, and he wanted to take out this local high, and that was a winning trade for him, you know? So it depends on what kind of trading you're doing. By the way, this is Solana, but it was the same concept on Bitcoin, right? He came down, he longed around here, and he took profit up here. So he's just playing scalping because right now we're kind of in this consolidation range, and that's when scalping can kind of be fun to do if you have the wherewithal to do it. But yeah, I wouldn't be, for me, I wouldn't be looking at necessarily breaking out to 80K or above. To me, it's not the highest probability. Could it happen? And let's actually cover that, guys, because as traders, we keep both possibilities in mind, right? We do not get into a set mindset of bullish or bearish. We don't become a perma bear or a perma bull. We always look at the different possibilities, and we don't have to know which one it is. We trade whatever comes. You mark out your levels of confluence. If you have your confirmations, you enter. So in the bullish scenario, we would be having to look at like a double 1-2, like a 1-2, 1-2, and then you would want this to continue up in a third wave, a real breakout here. But there is a major problem with that. So if we're looking at this being your primary one, first of all, it looks more three-wave corrective, right? Three-wave corrective move. And generally, you want to see a five-wave move, the impulse in wave ones. And then your wave two, sure, you could say this is some sort of WXY correction in here. You did bounce from a lower high, but this is so that would be your primary 1-2, but your secondary 2 here, there is a major problem with that because we were looking at this. Okay, if this is your wave 1, wave 2, that's only a push up and a 3. And then even within this, remember we were looking at this last week. 1-2, 1-2, your big third, you didn't get any 4-5s in there. So there's a major problem in the bullish scenario. Looking at this as a bigger 1-2, 1-2, and then now we're about to explode up here. It's by far not the highest probability. By far the higher probability is that this is a very clear corrective range rejecting from that 0.5 Fibonacci, just like we did at $98,000. And it's more likely that we dump to take out the 60K lows. Far, far more of a high probability technically in my eyes. Could we still see the bullish move up? You know, it's based off probability, and sometimes the low probabilities do end up playing out. And one of the reasons why Jason is bullish is because on the weekly time frame, we did get that weekly green dot on Market Cipher. And historically, when you get that weekly green dot, you can see weekly green dot here in the middle of the range, you still had 3 or 4 more weeks of upside pretty much overall. So we're getting the weekly green dot, which could be in the middle of the range, and we could get 3 or 4 more weeks up, maybe, you know, up into the low 80s or mid 80s. So that is why Jason primarily is bullish. But another thing that we saw, guys, is we invalidated the weekly bull divs. You can see with that last drop we saw a couple weeks ago, we invalidated the bull divs on NAMI and on Market Cipher B. And to me, it's just far less of a probability that we are going to get that big push up. I don't like how we rejected the anchored VWAP again. You know, rejection from anchored VWAP here, huge dump. Rejection from anchored VWAP here, are we going to get that huge dump again? So for me, it's not the highest probability. Even on the daily time frame, you got some pretty nice trigger waves. These are not bull divs because we don't have any lower lows within this range, but you have, you know, kind of this structure in here. You could even say somewhat of a double top. You know, you have your kind of ascending triangle, and this could break to the upside. And you do have kind of the nice trigger waves to support that. And money flow is bottoming out on NAMI with the green dot on the daily and on Market Cipher B. And on NAMI, your money flow is pretty aggressively pushing up here. So I understand why some people are looking bullish at this. I do. For me, I still think it's a far bigger probability. It's a bearish scenario about to play out. But as traders, we keep both in mind and we play whatever comes. That's why also, guys, I was looking for longs at near the lows of the range. On Sunday over the weekend, I was looking for a long from that 65.3, 65.4. We did front run the value area low in the golden pocket just barely, but we did bounce from the daily at 65.7. And so if you're in that long, keep it open, you know, obviously take profit and move stop loss, protect position, all that stuff. But we play both ways as traders. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Stop losses are for suckers, right? Right, our pink, we don't use stop losses. What a joke. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you guys. I love my mods. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all you do here. And our Pink, I always appreciate you posting those links for me. So at the perfect times. Thank you for that. John, welcome in. What do you think about Molt? It's a cryptocurrency. Honestly, I've never heard of it, dude. I've never heard of it. We can look at some altcoins in just a second here, but I really want to focus on, for at least for the next few minutes, if we're going to lose this anchored VWAP on Bitcoin. Now, Molt, I'll just give it a 2-second look here. Molt USDT. Looks like that one. Wow. Well, it's pumping. That's what I can say there. I have no idea what it is. It looks like a newer coin here, but yeah, it's pushing up. It's pushing up pretty aggressively. We'll look at that. But yeah, you have that big liquidity trail. I mean, all of this liquidity trail here, that could get swept really quickly. And it looks like you're already starting to sweep a lot of it. I would keep an eye out on these highs right here around, 000132. All right, there we go. Bitcoin. Let's get back to Bitcoin. What's the cause? I don't know. Travy Trades, they don't know what the cause of the internet outage is either, which is the scary part, because that means it could go on for a while. Okay, alt trades can be tricky for beginners. Yes, they absolutely can. So guys, be careful with alt trades, altcoin trading, because first of all, the liquidity is smaller than Bitcoin, but also they do tend to be more aggressive in their moves. That's why I really only trade the big altcoins, like with, pretty big liquidity. Ethereum and Solana are the big guys other than Bitcoin. So you don't ever really see me trading all these low cap meme coin alts, or you don't ever see me. I do like to trade XRP as well. XRP's got a pretty big, liquidity with it. And Chainlink, I do like trading Chainlink. Wow, Chainlink is back testing that pitchfork, which I talked about last Friday, where we could see the rejection from the back test of this pitchfork. That is kind of wild to see. And let's see where we're at within our range here. And rejecting value area high. Yeah, so we knew that this was the area. If you remember last week, and it's also going to be your golden pocket area. Wow, we could really see some aggressive drop here, guys, on some of these altcoins. Look at how perfect this was. Value area high, golden pocket, pitchfork, bearish backtest. We'd have to say 1, 2, 1, 2 here, and then this would be your big 3. 4, 5, 4, 5. You have your double 1, 2 impulse completed here. You get the grind at the beginning, the big flush down, the grind at the end. You get your move up in the lower high. And now are we expecting that big flush in a wave 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably your 5 is going to take this out, but 703, coming down to 703. But yeah, wow, this could get Chainlink, man. It looks like a pretty nice short developing here, because look at 3 higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the momentum waves. Your money flow is finally topping out. Multiple drives of bear div. You have that money flow bear div coming in here. Yeah, actually, if we start to reject from the VWAP, you might see that start to finally roll over. But you can also see here on Chainlink, you have that initial nice push up, and then now you're starting to see that roll come in. It's a very good level to look for that rejection. And it just seems like so many of the altcoins are at their rejecting perfectly from their resistance levels a lot better than Bitcoin. I mean, once again, guys, Solana was pretty damn clear to me. Value area high, golden pocket, bear divs coming in. It's just, it was a nice little short to look for. I also TP'd the long there that I had, and I had this long open from way back somewhere in here. I'm short on ETH from the high today. I'm stuck on whether to close out and wait for another high. Well, Liam, I took my long on Ethereum. And if you watched Friday's live stream, I covered this in Friday's live stream. The long from this box, golden pocket, it was also the value area low at the time. If you look back, golden pocket, value area low, as we were coming into that area, I did enter a long from this area because we were seeing the bull divs on the chart. But I knew that the value area high, the new value area high in confluence with that golden pocket around 2064 was going to be the area if we were going to reject and make a lower high. Wave one, wave two, dump, that was kind of the area. So if you shorted that, good for you, man. What I would do is if you're concerned that it's going to make another high locally, take some profit, enough to cover fees, move your stop loss to break even or even leave it above the high and let it ride. And if you get stopped out with way less profit, re-enter if it happens again. Sure, you're going to have to babysit the charts more, but I think this looks pretty good, man. You do have some pretty nice bear divs coming into this resistance here. You have money flow bear divs coming in. Money flow's topping out on the hour. What I would recommend, if I personally got into that short, I just took profit there. I didn't enter short there. I only entered short on Solana. But what I would look at is if you start to recover the VWAP again, then hey, maybe you are going to make another push up to take out the local highs. Or you could pull that because technically we still do have some bullish market structure like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Yes, you could continue this, right? Pull your golden pocket from the high from earlier today to that low that we just made. And if you start to take out the golden pocket at 2065, 2067, then you can close the trade. Actually, I mean, that 786 is right near that value area high as well. But yeah, you just manage it. It's a scalp, right? You're starting this as a scalp that could turn into a big swing trade. So you are maintaining some bullish market structure, and that is concerning if you're in the short, but you are at the good resistance. You do have the confirmations to enter. Maybe just protect your position and then let the rest play out. If you're going to get stopped out on the rest, fine. You'll win. It'll be a win. It will be a lot less of a win than you were suspecting, but yeah, at least it's a win. If it's gonna drop from here, great. You're still in it, So if you close it out right now and it drops right now, you're gonna be disappointed that you closed it out when you had such a good tight entry there. So why not use Hyperliquid then? I just don't. I just trade on the these exchanges, especially the ones I'm partnered with, and Hyperliquid. I don't even know too much about Hyperliquid. Hyper USD. Let's see here. Let's check this out. It looks like I have done some stuff on the past on this. Man, let's pull this. That does look nice. That SFP into that value or point of control looks pretty nice there. Maybe you're going to see that 3-wave corrective move up before seeing the drop. I don't use it. I don't know. Maybe I need to look into that, right? Lost X. Electricity outage in Palu. Yes, right? We have that Palu electricity and internet outage here. That AWS causing that again. That's AWS causing that again. Oh, really? Wow. Amazon Web Services is causing huge internet outages again. Interesting. Well, the last time they did that, it was also around this wartime and, maybe some shady stuff going on. Yeah, whatever Jason's doing, it's working for him. Yeah, he's doing great. No, he does show his losses too. He does show his losses for sure. Okay, let's see here. Right, and you should never believe everything someone says, for sure. Okay. What goes up fast must go down fast. You're right, Time Attack. Absolutely right, man. And when you tend to create those liquidity trails like we're seeing in these ascending channels, when they finally do start to break, they generally break pretty aggressively to the downside, right? Because you have all these cascading higher lows, right? So like you have some higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And then like once you start to break it down, you generally cascade them all out together and sweep it all. So that's why this short trade coming up here could be a pretty nice aggressive short trade. Wasn't Molt created by AI agents? Oh, if it, man, really? Machi HK, welcome in, my friend. I have to agree. I think the $57,000 level is coming, man. 58 to 57, looking pretty dang good. Decrypto, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you for being here, my man. Molt launched on Base as the token tied to Moltbook, a Reddit-style social network built for anonymous AI agents. Wow, thank you, R-Pink, for letting us know that. Interesting. I you know, if anything gets hype behind it, it can explode. So, and it is exploding today. Chainlink has had CT flooded with good news, crypto Twitter flooded with good news, and even Swift naming them after their recent X post. Interesting. So Chainlink is getting some good press. That's always concerning, though, as a technical trader. When the press starts talking about it, that's usually when like highs are in and you're about to see a big dump. Yeah, Sergio, absolutely, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, no. Every time I've expected Bitcoin to dump to, say, 77K, we end up dumping way beyond that point. I was actually looking for a dump to 72 to 68K. Remember that large golden pocket? Not 77. I was looking for a dump to 72 to 70 or 68. So if you pull this log golden pocket here from the all-time high, from the 49K lows to the all-time high, and you put on that log golden pocket, that is where I was expecting us to at least dump to. Now, I was expecting that to hold this support. It was major support, remember? It was the value area high of our 2024 range. Value area high, golden pocket. It was also your prior highs for your last cycle, which is historically held as support. So yes, I was expecting 72 to 68K to potentially hold. Now we chopped right through it. You know, no one's ever right 100% of the time, especially technical analysis based off probabilities, not certainties. But we also were looking at some, if we did fall back inside the volume profile, we were looking to fill it, right? So you fall back inside, you're expecting to drop to fill it. And that's exactly what happened. Where was the low made? Exactly at the value area low of your previous zone of balance. And we're getting that bounce, but we've also found reacceptance back inside this volume profile pretty much. You can see here, found reacceptance back inside of here for now. And so one of two things is going to happen. The market's either going to decide, hey, look it, we want to get back to price in the fair value of Bitcoin back in the upper range up here, up here in this fair value, or we want to continue dumping here and start to see some repricing, or at least, you know, come down, make another new low. I do think our next low could be a major low on Bitcoin. I'm not saying the bear market would be over there. I'm saying that this low here, this next low, if we see this come in, 57K, this impulse is now complete from the all-time high down. We could see a significant retracement up to your golden pocket 786 area. And we can pull that just to get some speculation on where that would be. Let me get in here and you would be looking at the golden pocket. You make sure that's on log because that is more than a 30% drop, right? So yeah, that would make perfect sense. If we do come down one more time, bounce from 57K, you could see that very nice 3-wave corrective move to come up to that, take this liquidity around 98, right up into your upper pitchfork band, right into your golden pocket before seeing continuation down. But the next lows I'm expecting based off this impulse being done and based off your extended 5th wave being done, I'm expecting a pretty big new bounce from there. Now, do we know it's going to end at 57? No, we don't. It could also end at 54, right? And I showed you guys this last week. At 50, pretty much 55 to 54, you have your weekly level, you have the bottom of your multi-cycle pitchfork, and you have, if you combine the two ranges of 2024 and 2025, it is going to be the value area low of that range. So yeah, we could see a drop to 54 as well. Yeah, don't see 57K to hold. Well, we won't know if 57K is going to hold until we get down closer to it. First thing we need to do is start actually breaking down. We're really not breaking down from this range yet. We want to see that breakdown really start. And I guess you could say the breakdown started last week with this push down. So yeah, you could say it started breaking down. We're coming up for a lower high retracement before seeing, you know, some more of that impulse come into the downside. But once we get down here, what I want to see, if we're coming down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First of all, I want to see this being in its 4 and 5 waves, right? I want to see this a nice clean impulse down. If we're making local bull divs on like the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, and we have some nice daily to like 3-day, 4-day bull divs, that is when I will be really happy and I'll look to long the crap out of this thing. So we need confirmation. We're not just going to long it because it's a level of support. We need that confirmation. Straight to 45K. Wow. Man, I don't see us going straight to 45, but I mean, at 49, we have a very significant liquidity grab. Very significant. So I would think that at least 49K would give us something. But we also do have some major levels before then. 54, like I said, 54 is 54 to 53 and a half. If we look at this pitchfork here, we do have that 56, 57K area, your pitchfork midline. And, you know, this pitchfork's just been so highly respected that I suspect if we do come down to that area, it's going to give us at least some decent reaction. 2024 all-time high was put in right on the upper pitchfork band. You were able to flip that midline, the bottom of the pitchfork band. I mean, this thing's been respected the entire bull market. Okay, looks like 70K is holding at 15. Okay, let's zoom in on the lower time frames. What is happening here? Yeah, it's holding so far. I don't like, at least we're starting to, we haven't broken market structure quite yet. I would want to take out that, what is this at? 70,301. If we can take that out, then yeah, you're starting to break at least local market structure bullishly. So maybe you get something like this where it pushes up, rejects VWAP, higher low, and then we start to kind of see that bullish market structure take over. Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay, let's see WJ. What happens? I think, yeah. We already claimed the weekly highs. 72.2. Let's see here. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe weekly open? All right. Weekly open was down here, though. It looks like it's about to break. Let's see. That's the thing, guys. I wanted to see that anchored VWAP because all kind of since we flipped it, held. Come on, how's Solana doing? Sorry, guys, I have to make this text message real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, see this kind of selling exhaustion we started to see coming in here. It's breaking up, but we might just take out like these highs up here and then roll over again. One thing I see about Ethereum here is this looks like a 3-wave corrective move here. So maybe you ended it on that 3-wave corrective move, and now this is about to really start dumping. Turbo's still dying. John, welcome in, man. You know, Turbo, yeah. I'm sure it's, geez, low liquidity. See, this is what I mean by low liquidity. Just be careful trading these things. But yeah, Turbo's still dying. It's still just chopping within this channel. You see, we're kind of rejecting from the top of the channel today. Once again, I really think that you could continue to see this chop here until you get down to between the 1.6236 and the 1.618. But yeah, nothing too significant happened on Turbo here. What I would do if you're kind of trading this more like in the futures markets is just look at this sideways range from the lows. You are below the value area low and you're rejecting the bearish backtest of the value area low. Like that's pretty bearish right here. Channel backtest of the value area low. So if you reject this backtest of the value area low here, you expect to at least come down and take out these weakened lows in here. Right? Even if it's just going to be that and then, you know, make another move up. But of course, you do still have, let's see. Oh, you're starting to break some market structure here, which you broke below this low. So that's pretty good. I would just be patient and wait for a little bit lower. All right. What is Bitcoin gonna do? Let's see. Current small bounce could be the fourth wave in a C down in an ABC from 71.2. 71.2 here. Wait. I see. I think I know what you mean. A, B flat, C. And then you would be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the C would be taking this out. Yeah. But let's see then. If that's going to be an ABC there, that is a corrective move to continue pushing higher. Right? That would be a flat correction in an uptrend. So yeah, if you're looking at this kind of A, you get your B flat and then push up in a C. But within that, you have the A, B, C flat within the B wave, right? And then you would get that push up here. Yeah, it could. The thing is, if you're doing, there's a lot of overlap in all of this. It does look like a pretty straight up structure, but I don't like all the overlap. So what you would have to say as far as Elliott waves goes is it's a bunch of 1-2s building, and then you're going to get that big spike after a flat. And this is also kind of short in time. Okay. Current small bounce. Okay. Yeah, then use WXY from 65K. X equals ABC. So let's see here. From 65K, this 60, I think you mean the 66K area here. Yeah, you could be looking at some sort of WXY in here. You know, a W, an X, and then a Y in here, maybe. Man, what has been up with Bitcoin lately when we start the stream? It just dies. Volatility dies. The thing with today is we still are kind of rejecting from this golden pocket, and we're below it now. Again, we're below it, but maintaining bullish market structure. So for me, I can't do anything here, guys. I can't do anything on Bitcoin. We had some clear trades on some of the altcoins, but on Bitcoin, open interest still continuing to kind of drop here. Nothing for me. It's a no trade zone here for me because of that. I want to see at least some nice break in market structure. Yeah, market makers take a break to watch the stream. God, I hope not, honestly, because I don't want freaking the market makers to be knowing what I'm thinking. Yeah, the moment Tokyo opens, I think we dump aggressively. Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see. Need to stream New York Open. Yeah, I get that. The thing is, false profit with New York Open, there's a lot of the other bigger traders that are bigger channels that stream at that time. And you know, I like this slot is there's not a lot of people that stream within this slot. So and I know there is overlap between the communities. I know a lot of you that are here in the channel also follow Jason or even came from Jason's channel. And then, of course, Andy. I respect Andy as a trader a lot as well. Andy streams kind of around that, you know, hour or two after New York Open. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to cut my little time frame in the day where it's likely people will tune in. Did New York clock change? Yeah, I think there was a clock change. I do think daylight savings time happened. Let me see here. Yep, we did get that change actually, guys. Just recently here. All right. Man, this total market cap. We were looking for kind of this big push down, right? And I still do think like we're significantly below the value area low of this kind of double range in here, or even if you take just this upper range and you look at this upper range, you're significantly below the value area low. I just have to say, like, let's just think in terms of like fractals and the market repeating itself. So and let me go to Bitcoin here real quick. Index chart. All right, you had in 2021, you kind of had this double top. You had your initial push down in the bear flag, and we've looked at this fractal before, right? Your initial push down in the bear flag. Here, you get that corrective move, and then you get another mini bear flag, and then it breaks down. So are we going to see something very similar to that, where you get kind of this, right? The initial push down, the corrective move, another push down, another corrective move, and then another aggressive push down. But then you would see, even at the end of this, you got a nice move up. So you would expect some sort of move. I would think that 49K is going to be a significant area where you could see a move, because liquidity into your multi-cycle channel midline, which historically has acted very nicely here as well. Kind of that support resistance flip. But sure, these fractals could keep playing out in an aggressive bear market. We could just keep dropping, max pain type of thing. And just think in terms, now this is on higher time frames, but this is a pretty strong liquidity trail. And you're starting to break it. And you can see, when did we really see that aggressive dump? Let me just hide this fractal for a second. When you took out these 74K lows and you didn't, you dropped all the way to 60K. So you dropped another 14 grand because you weren't really seeing that hold. And so that's when you get your aggressive drop into your next zone of balance. We do have a lot of support as far as volume goes. We do have a lot of support coming in this general area. And even if we came down to that 57K, I guess it's not near as much, but you really would start to see, you know, there was a lot. The thing is with the big guys is this was a reaccumulation that happened in 2024 where a lot of the BlackRocks, you know, the big ETF, spot ETFs and institutions were accumulating in here. So they're going to defend their positions pretty aggressively. And a lot of the bigger whales, the old like long-term whales, were accumulating in this zone. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael Mitzal. I appreciate that. Sarak, welcome in. Can you explain what you need to see to enter a long or a short? I think my mental's screwed. I keep trying to catch tops or knives sometimes. Yeah, so for me, if you want to be a more conservative trader, Sarak, on that, what you would want to do is follow market structure, right? So you could go in onto, 12, 5-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame. But you can see here in this move up we've been seeing since Sunday, we've had bullish market structure, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. You're maintaining bullish market structure of higher highs and higher lows. The first sign of a break that we got was actually earlier today when you broke down and you took out that higher low. So it was just an SFP, and then you did end up making new highs for the day. But if you want to take a short and you want to be, instead of trying to catch a rocket or trying to catch a knife, you want to wait for that break in market structure. So you'd want to break this low. Then you would want to wait for the retrace. And generally the retrace comes up to around that golden pocket, 786. And as you're coming up to that golden pocket 786 for a lower high before starting another lower low, because you had your bullish market structure. Once you take out that low, that's a break in market structure. So because you broke market structure bearishly, now you could be looking for a lower high in order to enter and create a lower low. But in this move up to create that lower high, you generally will see kind of this zigzag move up on lower volume, right? And what you want to see as you're coming into that golden pocket zone or that 786 zone or whatever zone of confluence you have, maybe there's a naked daily point of control up there. You want to look zoom in and look between for bear divs in between this high and this high. So if we're coming up with low volume, you want to turn on your volume and see if your volume is decreasing as you're making that move up. And if you're coming up into that zone and now you're seeing local bear divs between the ebbs and flows within this move, some bear divs developing, then that can give you confirmation, okay, I'm going to short at this lower high resistance to bring down. Same thing on longs, right? For instance, yesterday during the video, I was even saying this looks corrective to me, you know, and we were kind of just chopping in this sideways flat correction here. But you were seeing those low time frame bull divs coming in here. So it's like bull divs were coming in. That's very low time frame scalping, but a better example of that is the move down from 74K. So in this move down here, first of all, it does help to know Elliott waves, because if you were looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, now you know the next low you make could be the end of the impulse. And that could be the long to take, right? But as we're coming down, you can see we got our initial big aggressive drop here. And then we kind of started chopping sideways. That's, you know, this, in this case, it's selling exhaustion. And as we're seeing this selling exhaustion, you want to look as we're forming these lower lows in here, if you're seeing bull divs develop. So you have your first initial low at the big aggressive dump bottom, but now you're making new lows, but every new low you're making, you're getting higher lows on momentum, as you're making new lows. So that's what bull divs are, right? And now your money flow is starting to curve up nicely. Same thing on NAMI. You have those bull divs that are coming in very nicely as you're making new lows. So, and then you look for a support level. Like in here, hold on. In all of this, as we were chopping down, yes, we were starting to develop bull divs, but there was no major support in there. Remember down here, we had the daily level, the value area low, and the golden pocket. So you also want to look for those bull divs into an actual support zone, not in the middle of nowhere. You want to look for it into a support. Just like up here, as we were looking right now at shorting, we're kind of waiting for Bitcoin short to play out. As we're coming up here, we're now seeing this higher highs come in. We are seeing lower highs come in, multiple lower highs and bear divs coming in, but we're rejecting, you know, we're a little bit above the golden pocket here, and we're a little bit below the 786. So like it is a zone to start looking for shorts, but I haven't shorted yet because once again, I'm waiting for market structure to break. We're still maintaining bullish market structure here. So I'm not shorting this because I have not seen what I need to see. I've seen the confirmations as far as bear divs go, money flow bear divs, but I have not seen a market structure break. And because we're holding the anchored VWAP from the highs of the last, you can see now we flipped that anchor VWAP and we're holding it. To me, that's a big thing. So I think that we could continue coming up here until we actually hit that 786, which is the top of a pitchfork as well. A pitchfork band right up here. If we look at 786 Fibonacci, and that 786 is just pulled from the highs to the lows of this impulse, 786 Fibonacci. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's always best to look at market structure. And then if you also have some other strategies, like I use strategies of these oscillators. So I want to see bear divs coming in as we're coming up to the zone, not in the middle of nowhere. If we start seeing bear divs between this high and this high, well, we're not at resistance yet. Actually, you were at that 0.5 resistance up there, but you want to see it coming into your actual resistances. And actually, this is Solana. So Solana did not have that confluence here that Bitcoin did. Yeah, I hope that helps, guys. And it's better, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in trading yet. It is better to be more conservative and wait, because a lot of people will say, well, wait a second. If you shorted here, you caught the absolute top. And you're going to get, if we really dump, you're going to make more profit. Okay, sure, that could be true. But just because you catch a lower high does not mean you're not going to necessarily make more profit, right? Because say I'm shorting here, But my stop loss, you know, technically your stop loss, you'd want to be above at least this lower high. So if I'm shorting this here, my stop is going to go above this lower high because that's, you know, it kind of would invalidate that. Or you could even put it above the 786 or the daily. And I'm targeting at least taking out those Sunday lows. That's only a 3.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So, you know, and you, well, your stop loss is 2.7%. So pretty much you can use about a third of your account, because if it's a 3% stop loss and you get stopped out, you're only trying to lose 1%. So you could lose about, you'd have to use about a third of your account. So if I had $1,000 account, my position size would be about $333. I'm just kind of rounding here, guys. But let's say that you waited for the break in market structure. Let's say that you now came down, you break market structure bearishly, take out that low, and then you come up to the lower high golden pocket. So we could pull that golden pocket from the highs to wherever this low is, and you put on that golden pocket 786 zone, and you come up to this golden pocket, and now you see bear divs as you're coming up here. You can now short this, but your stop is going to go above that local high because it would be the break. And look at, you have a less of a stop loss percentage here. You would be targeting the same low. Your risk to reward is actually better than if you caught the actual top, right? Same target, 2.5 risk to reward ratio, or you could put it above the daily. You know, this is a 3.66 risk to reward ratio here. And you can only use about a third of your account. In this case, you could use over half of your account. Your risk to reward ratio is better. You're getting in overall in a lower position, but because your stop loss is tighter for your invalidation, this trade is actually a better trade than trying to catch a rocket with this trade. So it really does not have to do with catching the absolute tops or bottoms, guys. Waiting for confirmation. First of all, this trade is much safer because you've already confirmed the bearish break in market structure, making it more likely to make a lower high. Okay, so this is safer because you have better confirmation. Your stop loss is tighter. Your risk to reward ratio is better than trying to catch the absolute top here. It does not depend on trying to, the reason why people want to catch absolute tops and absolute bottoms is so they can show a screenshot on Twitter saying, I caught the exact high, I caught the exact low, you know, look at me here, woo, woo, woo. It is if you want to be a real trader, guys, it's not about that. It really is not about that. It's about managing that risk to reward ratio and that percentage of stop loss. The most important thing in trading is how tight your stop loss percentage is. The tighter this is, the more money you can put on the position. Okay, so sometimes waiting for the break, getting that confirmation and shorting the lower high is better than trying to do that. Yes, really hope that helps, guys. Let's see. Let me get back to Bitcoin here. VWAP retest. Yeah, with bear divs. I mean, we would have to zoom in on like the 3-minute, 5-minute here. Okay, yeah, and you're welcome, guys. You guys are all welcome here. Have you ever had Nando's? I'm not sure what Nando's are, so I guess not. I don't know. I don't know what Nando's is. You'll have to enlighten me on that. VWAP retest, bear divs, 5-minute change of character. Bear but front running the 15-minute change of character. Okay, so let's see. You're looking for shorting that bearish backtest of the VWAP pretty much. Yeah, I do think if we can get back above the VWAP, we might see that new high come in as well. Just because, and let me hide this one for a second. Just because we're bouncing from that anchored VWAP. Yeah, guys, please like the stream. If you did get any sort of insight or learnings from this live stream, please like the stream for me. Just helps spread the channel, the algorithm, get out to more people. And I am trying to grow the community. I am trying to grow the channel. Also, remember, if you are interested in joining that Telegram, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and deposit $100, a minimum. You can deposit more than that if you want to. You'll get the nice bonuses. You can get the nice discounts on trading fees. And once you've done that, you go and click the Telegram link and you type in /verify and your BYDFI user ID, and you'll get into that Telegram. Now, the $100 or whatever you deposit into the exchange, that's still your money. All we're hoping with this in this partnership with BYDFI is that after you deposit the money on the exchange, you actually give the exchange a try and like it so much that you continue to trade on the exchange. So it is still your money. You're not paying me $100 to get in. You're not, it's nothing like that. I try to make it a win-win for everybody. You guys will get discounts on trading fees. You guys, if you do KYC, you can get some really good initial deposit bonuses. You'll get access to the Telegram. And for me, all that I get from that is I do get a percentage of the trading fees that you were already going to give to BYDFI or any exchange. Those market order and taker and maker fees that you're already going to give to whatever exchange you're trading on. So they just give me a percentage of those. I try to really make this fair for everyone here. And for me, it's really about building a community rather than trying to suck as much out of people that come to this community. It's really not what it's about for me. And like, as far as YouTube goes, guys, I make so little on YouTube. It's a joke. Like, it's a joke. Maybe $400 a month. Like, if a good month of ads and stuff like that, it's like $400. Maybe I get some super chats during some of the live streams. But yeah, it's nothing. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Jason was talking on a stream today that instead of taking profit, he took a screenshot. Well, that is Jason for you sometimes, Dad. But I guarantee you he also took profit afterwards. He's really good at locking in his trades. He's really good at it. But that is funny. He's like, crap, I took a screenshot instead of TP'd. Oh. Yeah, rough day today. Some of this, but you explain it in a way to help me bring out a tilt. Yeah, that's awesome, man. The thing is especially if you're kind of newer into trading and really, it is cool to catch the absolute highs and lows. Don't get me wrong. But as far as actual being a long-term profitable trader, it is sometimes better to be conservative. And also what a lot of people do when they first start is they like to overtrade. They always feel like they need to be in a trade, right? They're always trying to catch highs and lows of small moves, highs and lows of big moves, and they end up making more mistakes. And through those mistakes, you wreck your account a whole lot more because you generally are not using good risk management as you should as well. And so the best thing to do is, if you're a newer trader, first of all, play it conservatively and don't overtrade with it. Don't feel like you always, part of trading, actually one of the biggest parts of trading is psychology. And if you get that dopamine hit from being in a trade all the time, you have to fight that urge to just always want to enter a trade because it's going up, or always enter a trade because you think it's going to dump hard. Not every trade's going to be that big trade that, 2x's, 3x's your account. You just be happy with what the market gives you. Right now we're in scalping mentality. So be happy with the market gives you. Like right now, I did end up catching this short today around 88.6. But if we start to break above this VWAP here, I'll probably close out at least 50% of the trade. And then if I get stopped out on the rest, it'll be a small win. Oh, well, I was hoping to make a whole lot more, but I didn't. But you know what? It's fine. I'll just look to enter again. If we continue to develop bear divs as we're coming here, I'll look to enter it again. And then hopefully it actually breaks down this time. But I'll only look to enter it again if we have continued bear divs here. And if we actually start to see that rejection from here. So in this case, for instance, if this is just a kind of 3-wave move down and a flat or something, like that's actually not even that. What I don't like from this bounce here, you see a pretty clear 3-wave move. That means it's a corrective move. Even though it came to new highs, it's a corrective move. So are we going to see, this finally break down this channel that we've been in all of this liquidity. And yes, I guess you could say to like here, all the liquidity here to break down, because you did take some of it already earlier today. But if we do bounce and we come up and make another high, I'll look to continue to build those bear divs, and I'll start to, so like, let's say we do this. We move up again. We take the highs, so I'll get stopped out, but then we start to lose those highs again. And we have another drive of bear div in here, right? Another drive of bear div in here. As soon as we start to lose these highs, that's when I'll enter the short. What the heck? Enter the short, stop would go above this high, and then I would be targeting, you know, that big drop again. But I would want to wait till we lose these highs and see continued bear divs developing. Okay, what's Bitcoin up to? Yeah, the tighterness is a message for life. Live by it. Yeah, tighterness. It is, right? Time attack. And yeah, you learn quickly from that one. Yeah, and I appreciate the kind words, Time Attack. Thank you. And Arping, thank you so much for always posting the links in here. Mark Lowe, welcome in, man. Good to see you in here as well. Hope you're doing well with everything. 4K subs soon. Yeah, guys, if you're not subbed to the channel, please sub to the channel for me, or share the channel with anyone you might think finds this kind of derivative trading interesting, because we are getting close to that 4K mark, and I know I have some pretty big things planned for the 5K mark with BYDFI. Like we're going to do another kind of campaign where you guys can earn some extra rewards and maybe earn some really cool prizes, you know? So I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it all. And also just really looking forward to building this community with all of you guys. Yeah, it's been awesome here, man. It's been really awesome. I think I have really some great, amazing mods. So many of you in this chat also are so super supportive and super like positive thinking. And I just love that, man. Just love it. Guys, I do it unfortunately, today I got to go pick up the kiddo here, and been streaming for a couple hours. I'm really happy that the internet worked through the mobile hotspot, but I do got to get going here. So what I'm going to be looking for on Bitcoin, because we are starting to bounce from this anchored VWAP, and if we can reclaim the VWAP, man, I think we might move up to that 786. But this is begging to be swept. If we keep kind of grinding up to that 786, it's begging to be swept. You know, rejected and swept. So what I would be looking for personally is if we continue to build more bear divs as we're coming out, specifically between the three highs, right? This high, and this new high. If we're continuing to build bear divs, I'm going to be looking to short that, and then look for really a breakdown to take out your weakened lows, and possibly see the big breakdown, right? A wave 1, wave 2, and then you'd get your big wave 3 cascade. Now, if we keep coming up, we break even above this a little bit and start shopping, even if it's in between here. I'm not necessarily going to short that until I see the breakdown of this range, the back test, and then something like that. So I'll try to keep you guys updated in the Telegram what I'm thinking, and let you guys know. Now, as far as Ethereum, if you did enter that short, I would be sticking in that, because you are at the value area high. You are at your golden pocket, and it is a nice zone for a lower high. And then you could sweep all of this, right? If you do come up and make another high and continue to make bear divs, just re-enter. Solana, same thing. We're at the value area high. We're at the golden pocket. You do see the bear divs coming in. You did actually break some market structure on this by this low here, even though you did come up and make a new high. But I'm short on Solana, and even if we get another high pushing it up in here, or if we get, you know, I'll even be looking at kind of a lower high in here. No, if we break the VWAP, I'll probably take out some. And then my stop is going to be moved to break even. I'm at 88.6, 88.61, I think it is, something like that. But yeah, I do think, you know, we are starting to see those bear divs come in here. I want to see them continue to build if we do make new highs. And then, of course, you can look at your open interest in here, your order flow. Right now, this drop that we're seeing is on a pretty aggressive drop in open interest, which did invalidate the bullish absorption that we were seeing. Because earlier today, before I started the stream, we were seeing that bullish absorption, but now that's been invalidated. But overall, if we zoom out, let's like go to the 30-minute here. On the 30-minute, it's disgusting looking, but you can see here how in this channel up from the weekend, from that Sunday low, you are making higher highs in the price action. It's not by much, but you are making lower lows here in the CVD. Now your open interest is actually not, it's flat now because you can see your open interest was here at the low and we're actually below it. So it is not bullish absorption anymore. And it's only bullish CVD divergence, and it's a shitty one at that because your CVD looks just disgusting, almost flat. But there is a possibility that this could play out a little bit and continue pushing up locally. I don't like how flat the open interest is here. And now with this drop that we've seen specifically over the past 3-4 hours, it is really invalidating any absorption that's playing out. Actually, it's hard invalidated now that we're below this. It's hard invalidated it, but I think that we're starting to cool off a little bit. And if we do start to roll over, this all can get swept super quickly. So that's why I'm trying to get into that short around this area. If you wanted to, you could just zoom in onto the 5-minute and watch for some evengences. If this was the high earlier today, what you want to be looking for on your CVD is you want to be looking from that high right here. So this pivot right here, you want your CVD to be making higher highs than that, higher highs in the CVD, but you want to see lower highs in the price, probably around that golden pocket area. And really you want to see this open interest increasing from here. So already it doesn't look good for bearish absorption, but you might see bearish CVD still come in. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for being here. I will be live again on Thursday and Friday. Please come join me then. Also watch out for the videos towards market close on Mondays and Wednesdays. Appreciate all of you all so much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your support and your kind comments, everything like that.